All right, welcome back to the Run.down post-game show, brought to you by FanDuel. Knicks lose their fourth preseason game. It is 120 to 103. It's probably be a very short post-game show. Not much to really talk about. Um, Mike Brown rested the starters, and Shamit and Hukporti were both out with illness. Josh Hart probably still out with the back spasms. But yeah, I mean, this game was a game of basketball that was played in the preseason. Sorry if my image and voice are not matching up. I don't know what's going on with the software on here and my internet. Still trying to figure things out as I'm getting back into the groove of things. But yeah, the Knicks, I guess they are trying to see who's going to fill out the roster. As we know that Pacome and Tyler Kolek have been subject to trade rumors as the Knicks look to fill out the rest of their depth. Um, as Brogdon and who's the other person that's supposed to fight for a roster spot? Oh, Shamit. Yeah, Shamit, Brogdon, Garrison Matthews. Those guys are in the running for a roster spot. So the Knicks playing some of those guys a little bit more today, so they can get a chance to see what they got in terms of depth. um, but yeah, I mean, this game really didn't show that much. Continue to show, some things that I guess we'll continue to monitor in terms of Jordan Clarkson and his shot selection. If Malcolm Brogdon is a mainstay on this team, what his kind of floor general, being able to keep a team together on the court during the season looks like, with that second unit, keeping things organized there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's not much to talk about after a preseason game like that. John Leary here does ask, does Jordan Clarkson stay in the rotation for the whole season? Probably. I would hope that, he's productive, and if he's not, someone like a Shamit, if he's on the team, and or Brogdon are able to come in and do the things that we're looking for him to do, which is be that kind of shot creator, that playmaker, that shooter off the bench. And if Clarkson isn't able to provide that, then, we'll see whatever moves the team makes in terms of Pacome, Kolek, Brogdon, Shamit. I know a lot more people are more fond of Pacome and would rather he stick around on the roster, give this team a little bit of youth. I don't think he'll ever play for this team if he ever stays on here. Just because teams in a contending window now, and you really don't have time to really play younger players like that if they're still in like the developmental phase, and if they're just not going to give you something that you can rely on every night. So I don't really see anything there with him. But they probably move one. What would be the kicker for a lot of fans would probably be if they get rid of both young guys. That's also an option too. They get rid of both Pacome and Tyler Kolek, and now both sides of this fan base are upset about that. But yeah, I mean, it's good to see that Mike Brown was willing to rest guys. I know last year in the preseason, Tom Thibodeau kind of played guys a little bit more and a lot more like he would play guys a lot more minutes than we're used to seeing in preseason, and that used to get a lot of flack from the fan base. So it's good to see Mike Brown kind of saving guys and also just seeing what he has and what's on the remaining part of the bench. I feel like last couple of years we really didn't get to see much of like what we had in terms of who else was on the roster. But last year was also a different situation in terms of like it was a brand new team kind of coming together with the McCall trade and then the Cat trade as well. It's like you're trying to see what you got in terms of things. So they were just trying to mesh the team as quickly as possible. But it is encouraging to see that Mike Brown is willing to rest these guys in a meaningless game and see what he has with the bench, the veterans, all that good stuff. I was not watching this game as intently as I would have probably in years past, just given the situation of this game. And also there's a whole bunch of other sports on tonight, Monday Night Football, which I have on my screen. There's 2 games on, and there's MLB playoffs. So, but yeah, shout out to the Mariners who beat the Blue Jays, who decided to come back down to earth after eviscerating my Yankees. Tyler Kolek led the way tonight, though, with 20 points off the bench. Efficient with 6 assists. Tyler Kolek hasn't really shown much in terms of like being an older second-year player that I think a lot of fans were probably expecting from someone like him. And, you know, given the track record of a lot of prior Knicks players that have been in their second years and have looked much more impressive, especially at the guard spot, namely Deuce McBride and Quickly and even Grimes, how a lot of those players looked in their second year with the Knicks. So, yeah, I mean, that's something to look for as well. Pacome had 8 points and 6 rebounds. Hit his first 2 threes of the game and then didn't hit anything really much after that. Still a long ways to go for that young man, but, you know, hoping for the best for him. I don't think he sticks around here. It's just not a situation that is really the best for him in terms of if he wants to fully develop, I think. Just looking at the timeline of the team. Deuce McBride had 11 points in 27 minutes or 28 minutes. But yeah, it seems like the team also just wasn't running a lot of sets. I think that's going to be the mainstay of Mike Brown and this team so far, and we'll see if that continues on to the beginning of the regular season, because I remember he did say he wanted to see how the team reads and reacts to plays. So, or reads and reacts to just how like the game is flowing and whatnot. So there's that. Just give me a second. I'm trying to see if I can find any quotes from tonight's game. Let me see. Here's something from before the game, at least, or during the game. Ian Begley had tweeted out that Saturday is the final day that teams can waive a player on a non-guaranteed contract and not incur a salary cap charge. So veterans like Malcolm Brogdon, Shamet, Garrison Matthews are among the Knicks vets on non-guaranteed deals, while the Knicks have 1 open roster spot. So that's why there's been a lot of talk about finagling some sort of roster spot between Pacome and Kolek and seeing who gets traded between those two to open a roster spot, because there is some expectation that the Knicks would want to keep both or 2 out of the 3 from Brogdon, Shamet, and Matthews. Brogdon gives you that kind of playmaker and that organizer of the offense in the second unit, and Shamet and Matthews are knockdown shooters, and Shamit we've seen can provide you some pretty good defense in the playoffs, depending on what the matchups are. We saw in that Pacer series that he was able to hold his own and was pretty good in that series. So there is that. But I'm also trying to see if there's anything else from tonight. But yeah, the Knicks play again on what you call it. When do they play again? These games have been so spaced out. I kind of appreciate it just because I'm someone that's doing work and school at this point in my life, and I really appreciate these opportunities for me to not be on here late night and being exhausted. Let me see. Friday. Okay, so Friday is the next preseason game. Knicks play the Hornets. Hornets have been interesting team. I think one of their first preseason games they were playing against the Oklahoma City Thunder's like third string guys, and they were getting smoked in that game. So, and the Hornets were playing their starters that game, so that was very interesting to say the least. But yeah, we'll see as how things go for the Knicks in that final preseason game, and then after that, the season opens up on Wednesday for the Knicks against the Cavs. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end things off here. I hope everyone has a great night and the rest of your week. We'll see if I'm here on Friday or not, possibly, but we'll see. Everyone enjoy the rest of your night, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Peace.